It's nice to see you. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to the Arcana Archives. The Arcana Archives is a new series that I am starting to document my tarot collection, and I thought it would be a fun way where I write each of my decks, Oracle and Tarot, and playing card, any deck that I use for divination purposes. I will write them and put them on a slip of paper, put them in this jar, shuffle them around. I will draw one here, right here with you, and we'll do a walkthrough of that particular deck. And I might share how I use the deck, how it's been helpful to me, any insight that I can give. And I thought it would just be a lot of fun to be a little interactive and do this together. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick the first deck here to kick off this series. My daughter helped me mix these up pretty good, but I just want to give them a pretty good shuffle here, mix them around, and I'm closing my eyes. And we have, the Black Violet Tarot. Very nice. Let me go grab it and we'll hop right in. Okay, so we have the Black Violet Tarot, and I have the Cherry Blossom edition. This deck is by Heidi Phelps, and it's such a gorgeous box. It is a limited color palette tarot deck of pink and black and white. It is one of the only limited color palette decks that I own. And the back says, the Black Violet Tarot, a deck for artists and dreamers. Throughout history and folklore, violets have represented life and fertility, death and remembrance, a striking contrast of joy versus grief, beginning versus end, and future versus memory. Created by Heidi Phelps as she became a mother while losing her own mother to cancer, the original Black Violet Tarot was illustrated entirely in black and white to reflect the idea of bittersweet dualities. The Cherry Blossom edition of the Black Violet Tarot adds in joyful puffs of blush pink inspired by cherry blossoms and symbolizing hope and rebirth. 78 cards with a woman-led take on the Rider-Waite Smith. This deck is for anyone who wants to reflect on any aspect of life, joyful or painful, meaningful or mundane, to tap into their creativity and artistic voice. This was created in 2022. So I do know that this was a Kickstarter originally in just black and white. And then, as she said, she created the Cherry Blossom edition. I did not back the Kickstarter. I ended up finding a copy of the Cherry Blossom edition on Tarot Marketplace for a decent price. And I just fell in love with the art and the limited color palette. And I thought it was so unique. And the fact that she created this deck through such a hard loss, like becoming a mother while losing your mother. So heart-wrenching. And as a mother, I could totally resonate, and I instantly felt a connection with this deck. So let's pull it out and have a look. This is the inside of the box. Very beautifully designed and packaged. These are the stunning backs. One of my favorite, more dainty, beautiful, delicate backs that I have. This is cardstock that it is matte. It's so hard to describe because it has a lot of bounce and a lot of flex. It is heavy in the hand, but it is, as you can see, it's not so thick, but it feels substantial. It feels very luxurious. It feels like an indie deck in your hand. I've never really come across this type of cardstock since this deck, so I don't know. I just really enjoy it. And with this deck, you get a little white book here. It goes into the introduction, how to use the deck, and then it hops right into the meanings of the cards, which I really like. There is no illustrations with the cards, but there's about the same amount of text for a major arcana than there is with a minor arcana, which I really like. When we grieve, when we lose something, our lives are never the same ever again. And I don't know if you've seen the diagram where there's this circle and this is your grief. And all you can do is build your life around the grief. The grief doesn't shrink, it doesn't go away, it's always there. But as we continue to move through emotions, move through the loss and processing it, and as we continue our lives, we build around it. And that's what this deck really reminds me of. So let's flip it over. This version did come with an oopsie card. This says the Page of Pentacles, but it's actually the Page of Swords. They did give a replacement card, and I do have that one in this deck, but I don't know, I think it's a fun little collector's thing to have. So setting that aside, I am going to zoom in and we'll have a flip through. Starting with the Fool. I love how the wind is going through her hair. It's almost as if the element of air is her companion. And then we have the Magician. Beautiful. High Priestess. She's a very fashion forward High Priestess. She feels very deep and introspective. And I really like that for the High Priestess. Empress with her apple. Emperor is matching that pose, but the Emperor has the globe in her hand overlooking her domain. We've got the ram's head there, all the symbolism. Hierophant. The Lovers. I like how the figures, there's two, but they are both the angel in a way, and I like how one has lighter hair, one has darker hair. That dichotomy, that symbolism of difference is there, and I really like that. Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. I love how in this Hermit it's candles is the light. I think that's very beautiful. Usually there's a lantern maybe with a candle in it, but I like how she's directly holding the candle in her hands. Just taking that moment to herself and really sitting with herself. Wheel of Fortune, we have the moon phases. Justice. This is one of my favorite Justice cards. I like how the light is shining, but it's casting a shadow, right? And that, oh, it's such a beautiful depiction. I love that Justice card. The Hanged One. I like the cherry blossoms here. Death. I love how the ground is all these teeny tiny flowers, and that strikes as transformation, right? There's a rebirth there. There's something else is happening in the background, or there's a foundation being laid for something else. And there's this movement away from what is old and not serving us anymore. And I do like how she's positioned closely to this cliff. She's really sending out and letting go. Temperance. I think this is a great Temperance card. It really literally speaks of balance and the need for balance, or else if you don't have balance, it can really be disastrous, right? The Devil. The Maleficent card, which I think perfectly emphasizes the devil. The Tower. The Star. Beautiful. I love how the little water part here is so tiny and it's in like a perfect circle, right? And she's looking at herself. She's pouring into herself. And it's that hope and renewal she's giving to herself. The Moon. The Sun. I like seeing the mother and the baby in this one, and I think it speaks truly to the artist herself. I feel like this is her card. Her with her baby and the hope and the beauty. Judgment. You are the one rising yourself up, right? Those worlds, the shadow and the light, are more connected than we think. We cannot be one without the other. And then the World. I love how free this World card is. This deck comes with 2 extra cards, the Woods and Snowdrop. And I leave the extra cards in decks. If there aren't a lot of them, I leave them in there because I use them as the deck signifier. We hop into the Wands, and all the aces have a figure here like this interacting with the suit's element or tool. So she's drawing the stars in the sky, which I think is a very clever way for the ace. 2 of Wands, some planning going on, thinking about things. 3 of Wands, we've obviously had some movement. We're somewhere else now. Steps have been taken, but we're still planning and still making those actions to keep going. 4 of Wands. I like this because it could be interpreted many ways. These could be sister twins, and these could be sister twins, and or it's a mirror of oneself with their child self of fulfillment and beautiful. 5 of Wands. Yeah, it reminds me of those movies where people, there's like a circle of people and each one has a weapon up. If someone makes a move, it could be fatal, right? 6 of Wands. 7 of Wands. 8 of Wands. 9 of Wands. She's a little battered and tattered and bruised here. But she hasn't given up all hope. She still holds a wand in her hand. 10. Page. Knight. Queen. Love this. I love how there's a lioness here and a little kitten. It really speaks to the maturity but the childlikeness at the same time, almost as if she is equally the lioness and the kitten all in one. And she knows when to use the sweetness and maybe the more ferocious side. She knows what's appropriate and when. And the king with the lion. Swords. 2. And her arms are crossed, yet holding the swords that are wide open. So which choice, which way, which side will she go with? 3 of Swords. 4. 5. There's some conflict here, almost throwing the sword down. 6. 7. Don't know if you can tell, but there's a candle and something else. Eight of Swords. 9. 10. Page. And again, this was part of that card. It's supposed to be Page of Swords here, but it's Pentacles. But it's the same exact card, just fixed with the right suit name. I love the butterflies, that air element. Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. Working together. 4. This is among one of my favorite 4s. If you are keeping everything to yourself, then there's no one or no sun even to enjoy it, and you kind of dig yourself in this ditch, right? You isolate yourself in a way. 5. Very traditional imagery. 6. 7. Beautiful tree. 8. She's in her workshop working hard. 9, in her garden, enjoying the fruits of her labor. 10, I really love this page. I feel like she definitely embodies that pinnacle energy, just welcoming in all the wonderful earthiness. The Knight. Queen with her bunny, taking stock of the flowers. King. Our final suit here, the Cups. I like how these 2 of Cups both are on different islands, it looks like, but they're coming together like day and night here. Maybe the round dot here is the sun, and that's a crescent moon. And again, the hair color differences and how they are different, but they're coming together out of love and respect for one another. They're not letting their differences separate them so much so that they can't reach each other. I like that a lot. 3 of Cups. 4 of Cups. 5. 6. 7. 8. 8 of Cups is always one of my favorite depictions in decks. 9. I like how it's the inverted triangle or pyramid here. That sense of security and maturity, of fulfillment, security within yourself emotionally. 10. Again, a lovely family unit depiction. Page of Cups. Love the little fishy down here. Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. Letting something go to the ocean. Making an offering, perhaps. And the King of Cups. Beautiful. I'm going to pull back a little here. And we'll do a shuffle. This cardstock makes the shuffling experience one of my favorites. It's very snappy, very animated shuffle, and I really like that. It has an interesting smell to it, I will say that. It's hard to describe it, but I mean, it is a little strong, so those who are sensitive might notice it or pay attention to it a little bit more. And then if I could get a card, please, to sample a guidebook with. Nine of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. We have a couple keywords: contentment, pride, wisdom. The 9 of Pentacles is about enjoying the fruits. Literally, look at the grapes. Of your hard-earned labor. The woman has worked hard and has built a life that allows her security and comfort. She never takes it for granted. Getting to this point has required tenacity, along with ability to roll with the punches, celebrate wins, and learn from failures. She's had to be fearless in going after what she wants and needs. Her falcon, think falconry, represents her ability to skillfully discover and hunt down opportunities that spark emotional, intellectual, and material growth. She's built up quite the archive of experiences that allow her to pass along her wisdom to others. Reversed. Instability, dissatisfaction, longing. Ooh, longing. I like that as a reversed. Beautiful. So that is the Black Violet Tarot, the Cherry Blossom Edition. I really use this for shadow work, and I usually use it in the winter time. It just feels like a wintry deck to me. It feels appropriate to use during the darkest time of the year. the author does, and the artist, excuse me, she does have meanings in the guidebook for the extra cards. I really think this is a beautiful, deeply emotional, and impactful deck. It isn't harsh in any way. It will tell you straightforward, but in a loving, nurturing way, almost, I guess, in a very motherly way. I do like how this deck is now available mass market. I think that's wonderful. I know that there's a lot of discussion about should artists go mass market, and I think it's a very personal choice, and to each artist is to their own. But I think that it makes wonderful art and messages more available to a wider audience. And we end with the Fool there on top. Beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough of the Black Violet Tarot. I will have links on the mass market version and the artist's website and anything else you can do to follow her. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. It really helps as I'm trying to get my channel up off the ground. And until next time, see you around.